Hi everyone. I wanted to thank you for showing up and having lunch with Laura today. I'm Laura Lee Collet from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And things are really happening at Stampin' Up, exciting things. First of all, I don't know if you noticed, but I have on my Valentine shirt, and we're going to be making a Valentine for the first card of the new year. So let me show you what I'm so excited about. The January-April 23 mini catalog went live this morning. So you can now order out of here. It is also celebration from January 5th, which is today, through the end of February. Now, we're only doing it 2 months, and this is the only celebration that we're going to have this year. Last year, we had 2. So we're back to doing just 1. So don't let this opportunity, don't miss out on it. The wonderful thing is that they have combined the celebration things, coordinate with some of the things in the catalogs. So take a look, see what you want, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using today. I am using, and this is out of the brand new catalog, it is the, let's turn it on this page. Okay, this is called the Country Floral Lane Suite. And with a suite, you can buy everything for one price, or you can mix and match and pick what you want. The stamp set has these cute little hearts, some other hearts that you can fill in with and do some things with, some real sweet little sentiments here, and it comes with a punch that's like this. So I'm going to show you how to use that today and the designer series paper, which, let me get that and show you how beautiful this paper is. Remember that in the catalog, it'll tell you what colors are used in the paper, or you can just flip it over to the back and it'll tell you what colors are here. So we've got Sweet Sorbet, Petal Pink. I'm looking for my glasses. Here they are. Mossy Meadow, which is the dark green here. Mint Macaron is that color. And then Balmy Blue. So what I'm doing, and let me show you the card, and then I'll show you what we're going to do. Here is the card we're going to be making today. Sometimes I use card sketches, and sometimes I don't. And today I just decided for something different that I wanted to try one. Let me show you what I'm talking about in case you've never heard of a card sketch. You can go online and find, just Google card sketches, and you'll find them. There are a lot out there that you can use. I know Mary Fish sometimes on her newsletter has a link where you can get her sketches. But this one is square, which we used to make square cards that I absolutely loved. And then I think because of the Postal Service, the price went up, so that went out. So what I did was, I decided on this sketch, and I'm making it a portrait style instead of a landscape. Thank you, sweetie. And it looks like this is the card base, and then there are 2 other pieces of cardstock or designer paper there with the oval in the middle. Well, you have to, sometimes you can, if you have an oval, and you want to make it just like the card sketch, you can do that. But I thought a little bit outside the box today, and I used our die that I always say it looks like a tray, and the name of it is the designer tags. It comes with a bunch of different things that you can cut out and use, but the one that I often use is the tag. Now, this tag that, like I said, to me it looks like a serving tray. So instead of doing a circle or an oval, I went with a totally different design. I did stick with their two pieces of, I'm using designer series paper, and you're going to want to have coordinating pieces, okay? So this one looks like this on the other side. So I'll be using this, and then I'm going to be using the other side of it to make the little piece that goes across. Another thing that comes in this suite, or that you can get, are the two spools of ribbon. The burlap, and then some real red ribbon that's narrow. And I used both of them on the card, so you can see how that works. Then we're going to add some little bling to it, which I haven't done yet. And you know me, I have to have a little bling to liven things up. Okay, let's get started. The first thing I did was mess up my score line. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I scored it at 4 instead of 4 1/4. And I decided I was going to fix that. There is a fix for almost everything. So what I did was I folded it on the correct line, which was the 4 1/4. And then on the back, you had this score line. So what I did was I just added another score line down here so that it looks like that was supposed to be like that, okay? So remember, you can fix almost anything. So I'm using our mint macaron as the card base. This is one of my favorite greens. And it is 5 1/2. Let me get over here. Move you over just a tad. 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And then if you score it correctly at 4 1/4, it makes the correct size card. Next, I have petal pink at 4 by 5 1/4. Then, as I said, I went through and picked out, and I'll show you the rest of the paper in a second. I picked out one sheet, and I'm just coordinating it so that it'll look a little different there. Then I also took the sheet that has the hearts on here. The punch has the large heart, the small heart, and 2 leaves. I counted, and you can get 16 full designs that'll fit the punch. And what I'm going to do, just so I'm not wasting, is see where these are cut off? I'm going to put a little piece of ribbon over it or another piece of DSP to hide that. And I'm going to go ahead and punch these and use them too. The other side of this is a stripe. And I'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so what I did was I cut out the full thing that I wanted to punch. Whenever you have a little piece of paper that you're trying to punch, this is a really good tip. Get a sticky note or something that you have that you can use to put on your paper and make it easier to slide in. Now, if you're not familiar with our punches, let me show you. On the back, there's a little lever, and when you press down and up, it opens the punch. And the reverse is true to close it. Just mash down and pull it down towards you. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you. See, this is without the little piece of paper. And it can be done, but it's just a little hard to maneuver. So that's why I put that little piece of sticky note on it. So you slide it down. And then what I do is just close my punch a little bit, just so I can hold it and make sure that everything is where it should be. Oops. And then I punch it. So that's what we're going to use for the front of our card. Okay, now I went ahead and cut out the little tray, and I'm going to adhere the hearts and these cute little blue hearts on here before I do anything else. Now, these hearts, there is an up and down. Oops, up and down. So be sure, if you don't want your hearts standing on their head, to do it like this. And I'm going to use my seal, Stampin' Seal. And there we go. Now this piece is 2 by 5. This piece is 1.5 inches by 3.5. So I just kind of overlap those. Let me get over here so you can see that better. Now, before I put this on here, I'm going to go ahead and put my ribbon down. I cut a piece of the burlap. It's about 5.5 to 6 inches, just enough to go around wherever I want it to go. And I am going to place my tag so that I can see about where I want to go. And I'm going to go up just a little bit off center. And when you aren't tying a bow with your and you're just saving ribbon, I just like to tack it on the back. And if you need to straighten it, just pull it up. Okay, there we go. Now, the red ribbon is cut at 18 inches, and that'll give me enough for a bow. Now, if you've watched me before, you know that when I tie my bows, if I don't turn them upside down, the legs go up in the air instead of down. So I'm just going to turn the card upside down and tie it. And we'll see how that looks. Oops, it's a little bit loose. Let's do that again. Left over right. Oops, get back where you're supposed to be. Okay. And then you make one bunny ear and the other one. Let's see if that one's... Oh boy. It's going to be one of those days. But that's okay. I don't know how y'all tie bows. Some people make the bunny ears and then fasten it in the back. Whatever, there's no right or wrong. It's whatever works for you. Now, I think I'm going to get it. Third time is the charm. Now, okay, so I've got that there, and they're not adhered right here, so that'll mean that I can slide my tray when I am ready right in underneath that. So let's put, I'm going to go ahead and we'll put our card layer on top of the card base. Like so. Now if you want to pop it up, you can. The first one I did pop up. So that's whatever you like to do. All right. Now, on here, I'm going to use mini dimensionals. The big ones fit on everything, but it's a little tough on the leaves. So I'm just going to take a couple of these, put one on each leaf. Then I'm going to, and one on that little heart, and on the big heart, I'm going to put 3. Okay. Well, I hope everybody had a great New Year's and Christmas. It seems like time is traveling fast again. Okay. I'm going to put that right there. And instead of having this heart go upside down, I'm going to put it right side up. And then just put my little, and I see what I forgot to do. I wanted to stamp I love you on the tray. So before I finish sticking, I should have done this first. I'm going to put, and I want to put it right side up. I'm going to just stick it over here this time. Okay, a real pretty I love you. And I used the Sweet Sorbet. Okay, and this leaf is telling me it wants to be stuck down. So I'm going to put it here and put the other one. Oop. It came off. Mom, it's not my fingernails. It's just me being clumsy. She used to always say that it was our fingernails when we got them done, and that made us make everything a mistake. Okay, so now we have our little tray with our heart on there, and I am going to put dimensionals on here, and I'm going to use the regular size for this. So I'm going to put one in each corner. And if you want, you can put one in the middle. I don't think that this one is absolutely necessary, but we'll see. And see how I put everything a little bit more at the top so that you could tuck this down without losing anything. Okay, tuck that right in there. I'm going to clip off my little legs on my ribbon. And there's your finished card. Oh, wait. Get all the stuff out of the way. We need to put on our little gems. And if you look back at the paper, they just had a little row of them right up there. But I think I'm going to sprinkle mine around. And let's see. I'm just using a pair of scissors since I can't find my take your pick tool. And it looks like they're large and small. So let's use one of the large ones. And right up here. And then I'm going to put another small one right here. Now we have our bling, we have our ribbons, and we have our finished card. So, on the inside, you can, on the lighter colored cardstock, I generally do not put a white piece of paper here, but it's really up to you whether you want to. If you're using a dark colored cardstock, you do need to put that white or vanilla on the inside. And stamp your message there. Put your Hallmark sign back there, and you're ready to go. Now, let me, let's see. So this was before gems and after gems. And those are called iridescent gems. And I realized that they're in this new catalog, but there are also some sequins that go with this suite. Now, if I've sold you on this, I want to show you how you can mix it up and match. If you were to get the stamp set and the punch, it comes to 30 in a bundle with 10% off. You get 37, comes to $37.75. I added the gems, which are in the back of the catalog. They're right here. They're $8. Or you could use the pastel sequins, which are featured in the suite, and they're also $8. If you added the ribbon, which is, like I said, it's 2 bolts of ribbon. I believe they're 5 yards each. That comes to $9. So your total would be $54.75. That qualifies you for something out of the Celebration catalog. Now, every time you spend $50, you get something. If you spend $100, you can either get 2 free items that are marked at $50, or you could flip towards the back and get one that is for spending $100. But there's some awesome stamp sets. I got this little owl. I'm going to be making some cards with it. There's one with carrots, thanks a bunch. And this paper is to absolutely die for. It just, it is so pretty. And I don't know if you can see this little thing right here, but they're little ovals made of flowers. And I think there's 6 to a page. And, it just makes some gorgeous cards. It's similar to this, but they also did some cutouts. Now, if you wanted the DSP, you can work around and see what you've got and come up with around $50. That would also include that. And let me show you, before we close, how gorgeous this paper is. As you've already seen, they're blue hearts, red hearts, red and pink. And on the back of that is the stripe. And look at these. I just think those are beautiful. That's going to be a really cute card to make. And on the back of that, you've got your petal pink, which has X's and O's and little hearts. Then there's another piece that there are some hearts in here. This is with your Mossy Meadow, the mint, and the petal pink, which is what this is. So you've got hearts there. Now, look at this. I just think this is so cute. Look at all the bicycles. They're carrying bouquets of flowers. They're in the colors in the paper. And then you also have a border here that would be really cute to use. And you can get it, it's printed so that you can use it all. on each end. And on the back of this is our balmy blue. Okay, I hope I am whetting your appetite. Oops, I didn't finish. Had one more. With flowers, hearts, and on the back there's some more balmy blue in a diamond pattern, if you can see that. Okay, now I think I'm to the bottom of all the paper. So I'm going to put this aside and just tell you a little bit more about the mini catalog. If you go to my website, and let me move this back just a little bit. Okay, so now you can see I have the January host code, which you would put in at the end of your order when you go to close out. It's going to ask you if you have a host code, and that's the host code for January. Then, if you do not have a mini catalog that I mailed to you and you would like that in the celebration, all you have to do is drop me a line at tobobette@gmail.com, or you can go straight to my website, stampinatthebirdnest.com, and request a catalog there. It has a little table of contents here with the icons that explain everything, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing because that's a whole nother lunch hour, but I'm just telling you there are some really awesome things in here. Oh, any of you scrapbookers, I got this set of dies, and they're to die for. Okay, I have a book of dies, so I use those, but see, they're tall. They are a little over 1.5 inches by, well, some of them are smaller than that, 15, almost an inch wide, so it depends on which letter you're looking at. But they're tall and thin, and I just love them. I'm so glad we hadn't had a new set of alphabet dies in a while. So if you're a scrapbooker, or even if you're not, look how cute these cards are that are made with that. Okay, enough of that. Like I said, celebration has started. The clock is ticking. You've got until the end of February. So if you are seeing a lot of things you want, but your budget won't allow it, do what I do. Make a, quote, grocery list of Stampin' Up! Items you want. Then go and pick according to the importance and what you're going to be needing. And then scratch that out. The next time you know what you can order. And then you'll get some freebies out of here. Just make sure that your order hits $50. And what the other thing I wanted to tell you that is very, very exciting is that we're doing a joining promotion. Now, this is something that is very different. We've never done this before, to my knowledge, and I've been stamping and a demonstrator for 18 years. Okay, if you would like to join, you get to pick items of your choice out of any of the current catalogs. But this time they added 3 different options. All right, let's say I'm going to do it bottoms up. If you go for option 3, you get $175 worth of Stampin' Up! Products for $99. Did you read my lips? $175 worth of products for $99? You can't beat that with a stick. All right, next, option 2 is that for $175, you get the original mini cut and emboss machine that has a value of $63, plus your choice of $175 in products for $129. Okay? So it goes up, what's that? $20, and you get the little machine. Now this is just like the big one that I use, and I've got a mini. Let's see if it's right here. Well, I'm not sure where I put it. I probably put it where it lives. But anyway, this one, if you picked option 2, you would get a white one. Option 3 is the exclusive boho blue mini machine. Again, it's valued at $63. You get your choice of $175 worth of products for $129. So, take a look at the back of the Celebration catalog, and you will see what it looks like when it's opened up, and you can go over these 3 options again. So, all right, I think that's everything I wanted to tell you today. So I am going to sign off. Like I said, if you do want a catalog, either go to my website or go to my Gmail and send me a little request in an email. So, today, and I wanted to thank you again for being with me. I hope that you're going to get started on your Valentine cards. I feel like I already have a jump. So I've got 2 done. And have a great week, and come back next week, will you? I'd love to see you. And if I am going to be doing a Zoom later in the month, it's probably going to be on the 3rd Friday, which, if memory serves me, that's the 20th. I'm going to show you something special to do with this. So come back, and come back every Thursday for Lunch with Laura. Thank you. Love you. Have a great week.